Stop! Police!
Oh, shit.
We have a total of 600 in progress for most of each. Subject is 25 and appears to have shit his pants.
Get back here!
Hey, what's up? This is Community Service with Craig Conant. That's me. Are we rolling now?
Yeah.
Okay, you missed it. This is Jay Light. This is my good buddy. He's funny as fuck. We kind of started together, yeah? I felt like.
Oh, yeah, right around the same time.
Yeah.
I've been doing it. I mean, I've moved to LA it'll be 7 years in August. I started in North Carolina a little bit before then.
Yeah.
But I think we were getting started here in LA about the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's so fun to see the paths we take. But before that, my producer failed us. I'm just kidding. We were talking about plants and how he's a murderer and kills all of them. I'm just kidding.
I came back. I was just out of town, and I came back, and I don't know how. I had one of those succulents that's got like it's got big leaves, but it's a small pot. So and there was just this big plant in the middle, and it's surrounded by a bunch of little ones.
Yeah.
And the big one had been ripped out completely out of the pot by, I would presume, either the cat or it just leapt itself like a goldfish leaping out of the bowl.
I think it just killed itself.
It just killed
It's
itself.
like, I'm
Plant
sick of your shit,
suicide.
Jay Light. You don't talk to me. Craig talks to his plants.
You talk to your plants?
Hell
Is that the
yeah.
secret? You whisper
maybe.
sweet nothings
I'm not
into
admitting to
their
it.
leaves?
I do. Just a little bit. Hey, little buddy, want some water?
Yeah. You're doing so good. I'm so happy with the way you're developing.
Yeah. Yo, as much as I love succulents, kind of fuck them indoors because they just fall over indoors, but outside mine are blossoming and blooming.
Yeah.
I don't think they're meant for indoors.
I don't think they are either.
I kill them.
I didn't realize there was a difference between indoor and outdoor plants.
Oh, absolutely.
I went to there's that plant store over on Fairfax. I think it's like Exotics or something is like it's called
Fairfax
that.
and Willoughby?
Yeah. Right
That's
across from the
that's a ghetto
sketchy
one.
burger
That's
spot.
That's a ghetto one.
It is.
That's the crack burger spot and the crack plant pot. Something's funny's going on over there in those corners.
It's I went there and the guy was like, "So what kind of plants are you looking for?" And I was like, "I need some stuff for like inside my apartment." And this is before I moved, so it was like completely different conditions.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What direction is the light facing? Where is it? What kind of oxygen are you looking for?"
Yeah, you're like, just give me a fucking plant, man.
And then I took the plant and I got it, and he was like, "This is an indoor plant," and I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And then I moved and I put the plant outside because I have a balcony now, and it died so quick.
Dude, I did. See, I'm a green thumb for the most part, but in the beginning, it's trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a house plant, and I was like, oh, it needs some sun. I put it in direct sunlight. I swear to God, it was like a movie. I come back outside. It was just black. It burnt. It got burnt. It was not meant for that.
You got to put some sunscreen on your plants.
It literally hurt me. I was like, oh no. That's like I was trying to love you.
Because it feels
and
like
I killed you.
Dude, it feels like plants are so easy to grow because theoretically it's like, oh yeah, we learned in school like all you need for a plant is a little soil and a water and a little sunlight. No, it takes a lot more than
You
that.
need fucking mister. I was just in my head like, what if my fan base is like, will you stop talking about shit and plants? That's all you fucking talk about. I'm more than poop and plants, everybody. I have rocks too. But anyways, he's talking about plants again. Fucking hippie. Oh, I wanted to talk about this again too. He's got a motherfucking electric skateboard.
I do.
Not scooter, skateboard.
If it was in reach, I'd pull it to. Actually, I'll just stand up and pull it
it
on
goes
camera.
18 miles an hour. 18 goddamn miles an hour, and it's his first skateboard he's ever owned in his life.
This thing is fast and gnarly.
How have you not split your goddamn chin open, sir?
I don't know. I've had pretty good luck on this. I've only eaten it once really bad. I was coming down, it had just rained, and I usually would go down. I still worked at the Comedy Store, and there's that big hill on Sweetser, and would take it all the time because the skateboard can take hills because it's got the motor, so it'll slow down.
Oh, it does? Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's amazing. I thought it did speed that.
Oh, no. It was like, so you can slow it down so you're going at like a reasonable speed.
When you said that, it reminded me of Chevy Chase Vegas Vacation when he oils up the silver sled, remember? And he sits on it.
It's
I just see J-Lac going down Sweet. You're just...
Well, that's the thing. So that normally I would go down at like a regular speed, and then it rained, and I was like, I can still do this, and I had no traction, and I ate it the second I turned onto the street. Skateboard turned, like the wheels backspun. I fell off. The skateboard went flying, and then I still had the control because you got to control it with a little remote control. And the skateboard landed and then shot back up towards me.
Oh, yeah.
Also, one time I accidentally knocked a dude off his bike because I fell off my board, and the board still kept. The board flew past him, but then it shot back and knocked the bike out from underneath him.
That's funny. He's like, you motherfucker.
He was pissed off. But then that was the thing. It was a homeless dude on a bike, and was like coming around a corner. And then we both were like, I was like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, you got to be paying more attention. And I was like, dude, you just came like barely, you didn't even look. You just came like right into the sidewalk.
Look alive, cyclists.
And he was like,
You're
I
not
guess
the only ones on the road. We got electric skateboards here.
He's like, I guess we're both at fault, but I'm hungry. And I was like, here, I'll give you more than I would have given you anyway.
There's $10. Good luck with your broken leg. Good luck with that shin. Oh, man. I've eaten shit. I fucking used to skateboard. I love skateboarding culture, all that shit. I could just, like, watch videos anyways. But I sucked. I fucking sucked.
Really?
I broke my leg on a quarter pipe. Ooh. And then I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. That hurt.
How old were you when you did that?
13.
Okay. So you were skateboarding young, though. So you were, like, in the culture.
Oh, I loved it. Like, even those old cheesy movies, just about skateboarding. Mm-hmm. The whole it released in 1989. I don't even remember the titles. Thrasher was one, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, those old school. I think Josh Brolin was in one, I want to say.
Really?
I believe I heard the story. It made him quit acting. His might have been a BMX one, though. But I used to watch all that weird, cheesy, fucking C-rated movie shit.
I never watched any skateboarding movies, but I did play a lot of Tony Hawk's Pro Skateboarder.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can do this. And I tried.
You're like, no.
I convinced. Yeah. I was like, I borrowed a friend of mine's skateboard when I was like 12 or 13, and I fell off, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, this is.
Oh, this hurts. This hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what's good about falling on the concrete?
What?
Fucking nothing. That shit hurts.
That's right.
There's no give. You just,
man.
Oh, Jesus.
One time I was younger, we were doing, we found in our neighborhood, there was a part of the sidewalk that it was like a little ramp, and it shot up. And so we were riding our bikes on it and trying to do jumps over this little piece of the ramp. And I remember I did it after watching two of my friends do it. And they're like, come on, dude, just do it. And I was like, okay. And I rode my bike, and then I hit the ramp, and I flew backwards, and my leg got caught in the middle part of the bike, and I just fell, and then I was in a lot of pain, and then I got up, and my friends were gone.
He might be hurt. Let's leave him to die.
Just one crawl myself back home.
This one kid growing up, we were all little knuckleheads in Torrance, Redondo Beach. John, he fucking turned out to be a real weird tweaker. And, we're probably gonna have to bleep his last name there, but anyways. He fucking, we were bombing this hill, Knob Hill, with our surfboards. And like one by one we made it, but it was too big of a hill. We made a mistake. We should not have done that. We all got the speed wobbles as you gain momentum.
Right.
And then that motherfucker, we look back and we just see him go, and he just falls over and he like lands like on his surfboard, but like slams down, knocks his teeth out, gets all bloody, ruins his surfboard. And me and my buddy just left him. We're like, oh no, he's in trouble. Let's get out of here.
Oh my
There's
God.
blood. I can't see that shit. John, good luck. Good luck, kid. I'll call your mama. I'm fucking out of here. Oh man, that reminds me of Young Dumb Stories. I'm on a gold mine. So my buddy Dane Molina, we could leave this one in
Because he's not a weird tweaker.
Because he's a nice guy. He owns Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Torrance. He teaches it. What's it
Shout
called?
out.
Golden State. Go take choke lessons. So this fool, I almost forgot the story trying to think of jiu-jitsu, and I said choke lessons. He had a fucking like a I don't even know cars. It wasn't a Dodge Dart. It was, I think, a Valiant, like Chevy, old school muscle car kind of.
Okay.
And his mom and stepdad let him drive it, and this motherfucker took a speed like way too fast, just slid out, crashed into the center divider.
Oh, shit.
And just totally wrecks the car. And me and my buddy, Adam Mockett, I'm naming last names, but he's a sweetheart. He does finance. Go get a mortgage. And
Go take some jujitsu classes, then go refinance your house.
stay away from Tweaker John. And then he just crashed. And this is like 6 p.m. by the mall, broad daylight. And he had his learner's permit, so we weren't supposed to be in the car, you know. So we just we just left him. But he was like, bye.
I will
Anyways,
take this pain.
I remember getting in an argument with him. He's like, I did you see that? The car just lost control. And we're like, yeah, right, dude. That's what happens when you take a turn at 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking crash, you dumb.
I never got into any like dumb car crashes. Like the dumbest car. It's so lame. I was in my school parking lot, and I went to school. I grew up in Texas, right? So there's a lot of dudes with lifted trucks. And my first car was a Chrysler 300M, so it's a low to the ground
That's
sedan.
fancy.
It was my
You
dad's
fancy?
old car.
Okay,
So
alright.
my dad fancy.
Your dad fancy.
My dad fancy. Me not fancy.
My dad sold me a lemon, that bastard.
My dad, I mean, at this point, the Chrysler was not doing so great. It was leaking through the roof anytime it rained, and it rains a lot in Texas, so I would just
Okay,
get
that's
dripped
good. Though.
on.
You get a little.
Yeah, but I was driving, and I just wasn't paying attention. I was like changing the radio or something, and I rear-ended a dude with a lifted truck, and my front end of my car completely just like pancaked in completely and like cracked the radiator
Yeah.
and all this damage. His truck was totally fine. I basically got like teabagged by the truck nuts of this dude's car, and everything
Hey,
was
here's
cool.
my nutsack, Dodge Ram.
They tried to like squeeze us for money because they're like, yeah, the door doesn't open right anymore, and we were like,
come
get
on,
the fuck
I
out of
just
here.
totaled my car on your fucking hoof.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I did almost total that car too. It was insane. I was very upset, and my mom, because I had just signed. This is, oh my god, my parents, when I got the car, they made me sign a contract.
If you crash, no more car.
Yes, and there are other rules too in the contract, but that was one of the things. Was like, if you crash, you can't drive the car anymore.
Come on, how am I gonna learn to drive? Everybody crashes. How about 2? And maybe 3.
And so I was panicking. I just got a piece of, I think, a plant. I think your plants are spreading into the coffee mugs.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That was a clean cup, I promise.
I had. I was like freaking out, and I pulled into the. I pulled into like a parking lot after I got out of the school parking lot, and was just like sobbing. And my mom was like, "It's fine, you can still drive."
Yeah, that's nice. I stole my sister's boyfriend's car in high school. It was a Chevy Tahoe, and we filled like Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola glass bottles with Kool-Aid, and we put in Beastie Boys' License to Ill.
Nice.
And we were smoking joints, and I drove to school. We pulled up. I'm like 15, no license. They're like, where the fuck did you get that car? I had, don't worry about it. Get in. And then we just drove around.
That sounds great.
It was so fun. Did I tell the story where I crashed Lulu's car into the center divider?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good one. I've
There's a lot of
so
crashing
many
cars
times.
in the center dividers.
I don't want to talk about it. Hey guys, you know what happens when you drive drunk? You sideswipe vehicles.
Oh, see, whenever I drive drunk, I just come out of a blackout driving down the wrong side of the road, and everything's
That's
cool.
so scary. Don't not drink and drive.
Nah.
We're lucky to be alive.
Don't do it.
You could kill somebody else and or yourself.
It's a bad idea.
I used to just play pinballs with vehicles. No. Anyways.
See, I stopped drinking and driving eventually, but I would just hitchhike instead. And I
Well,
remember
that's safe with that pretty boy face.
totally safe.
You got a pretty mouth. Come here, blue eyes.
And this is in North Carolina,
over
so
here
I
and
could have gotten deliverance
Get
for
this
sure.
North Carolinian cock.
I
Is that
got
how they talk? How do you talk down there?
North Carolinian.
Carolinian.
cock.
What I say, lining?
North Carolinian.
Yeah, but I felt like a North Carolinian would say it the way I said it. No,
you thought
I
wrong.
was wrong.
You thought wrong.
Have I ever been there? Never been there.
They're gonna take that hair, use it as a handlebar for you.
Oh no!
If you're ever out there.
Oh shit!
I used to, but I hitchhiked. I got picked up by a cop one time, and it was a campus cop in my college, and they drove Priuses because they were not intimidating at all.
Yeah.
But they picked me up, and they still did the cop car thing where the back seat was super uncomfortable. Like it was just like plastic seats. In
It
a
could have
Prius.
been a comfortable Prius seat, and everybody wins with like, no, put the wood
Right.
planks in.
It could have been like, have you ever seen prisons in Norway or Sweden?
How they're nice.
They're so nice.
Yeah.
That it could have been just like that.
No,
But nope.
They want you to die slowly and
Yep.
become institutionalized.
But the cop picked me up and just dropped me off back at my house. It was basically just like a cab
chauffeur.
service. It was nice.
Man, I was trying to count up all my police encounters. I don't know.
I had a handful. I had one. There was one time it was in college. It was like between freshman and sophomore year. And me and a couple other people, we went to go smoke weed off the highway. We'd found just like some exit where there was like a dirt road.
I thought you were gonna say I just found some weed on this exit.
In Texas, you never know. People might have just been growing off the highway.
Yeah.
But we pull off this dirt road, and literally it's me and two girls. We had just gotten out of we'd just seen a movie, like Toy Story 2 maybe.
Man, those are good fucking movies.
And we just got out of it, and we were literally like the one of the girls in the front seat was about to light the pipe, and then all of a sudden cops shine their lights in, the flashlights in the car. We didn't see them coming, and they were like, everybody out of the car, and they pulled us out. They all questioned us all individually. And
Isn't it highly illegal in Texas?
extremely illegal?
Fuck you, Texas.
Right.
Get your shit together, you pussies.
And
Someone's gonna kill me now.
the girl in the back, and the girl who was driving, in her trunk, she had beer. She had like half a case of beer. So they didn't hit either of, like, two of us with nothing, but the girl who was driving the car, they hit her with they let her off easy. They hit her with a possession ticket of possession of paraphernalia. So not even the actual, like, they didn't hit for the weed or for the booze.
Wow, it was actually nice of them. Good
It
job.
was nice of them.
Lenient.
And then we all just were like, all right, we're gonna chip in. We'll pay off this ticket. But
Then you didn't chip in.
no, I did.
I'm just kidding.
I'm a good guy. I wouldn't give my guest a dirty cup.
You gotta repair the wounds. I did. What are you talking about? I don't know.
Look at I don't know what this is.
I
on
washed
here.
the shit out. I did drink yerba mate out of there, but I washed the shit.
Oh,
I
it
washed it with
does-
hot water and lavender tea tree soap.
That's what I tasted. It tastes a little bit of floral. It's kind of
soap.
nice. It's like
organic.
It's like I'm drinking at a spa, surrounded by all these plants and
Hey man,
reminiscing.
I washed that cup yesterday. I haven't washed this cup in months.
That one, the big one.
I washed it.
I wash my main water bottle I drink of like once a week because I got a real bad mouth stink on there.
Mouth.
I didn't realize how gross mouths were until I started smelling my water bottle, and I was like, "Oh, this is terrible."
You gotta wash it off. You gotta wash it off, Texas. You gotta get a copper tongue scraper. Oh, Ayurveda.
Is that what you use?
It's fantastic. It's antibacterial and fungal.
Oh, antifungal.
Anti-odoral.
That's good.
Odor. Hey, I wanted to talk about, this is one of the highlights of my life, and I was with you.
Tell me.
The road trip with Zane Helberg and Andy Haynes.
This is a classic
to the
thing.
rehab. We did a rehab racket, man. We were doing shows at all these rehab centers up north.
Yep.
And we pulled over. What did we see? We see beautiful foliage.
It was so pretty.
Gorgeous.
We were in the middle. It was like the canyons, the mountains. We had just climbed up a big rock.
Yeah, it was just beautiful. It was perfect. The air was clean. And we're taking pictures, those photo shoots of foliage.
Yep.
All the colors.
Good
they got
Instagram
colors,
story
orange,
stuff,
yellow,
you know?
red, green. And then we're walking back to the car. And what do we find?
A dildo.
A big fat
Big.
rubber. I mean, I fucking swear to God.
And it had been clearly it had lost its natural shape. It was curved.
It was used.
It was
used.
And it was, I can see why nobody saw it, because it was the same color as the
Yeah.
ground. It was blending in with all the rocks.
And there was a bottle of lube next to it.
Yep.
There was a bottle of fucking lube next to it. And I mean, like, we lit the odds of us finding this on the side of the road, you guys can't even fathom it. We're literally driving, 65 miles an hour on a highway.
And this is, and not even like like an interstate. It's like a
highway.
state highway.
Yeah.
It's like the middle of nowhere.
There's hundreds of miles for us to pull over. Hundreds of miles. And we're literally contemplating it, and finally goes, yeah, let's pull over. Let's take pictures. And just go and have our fun. And just a fat cock. Just a fucking cock on the floor.
Massive.
And then what happened next?
You picked it up and started chasing us around with it.
I got video of it too. I got my Snapchat out and I fucking filmed it, and I started shaking at these motherfuckers. And I was like, come here, boys. And I was just whacking a dildo at them. A stranger's dildo we found on the side of the road.
You're a wild man.
And then I
Greg.
threw it at Andy Haynes and my camera, because I was running and filming and wiggling the cock. It's hard to do all that, you know? So I was trying to film it, but I had to throw, and I played baseball, I throw correctly, and I went, whew, and the dildo went across Andy Haynes' face. And he looked at me like you know when you're a kid and you fucking do something to your dad and you're like, yeah, I'm going into child services now because he's going to kill me. Andy Haynes gave me that father beatdown look where he was like, if that dildo hit me in the face, we would have fought right then and here. But it didn't. But I want you to know that.
You were really tempting fate by chucking that dildo around.
So funny though. I mean, I would have took the beating.
That was one of the
worth it.
That was one of the funniest parts I've ever in parts of my life.
That
It was just
so
like a
fun.
wild 5 minutes, just finding a dildo and then you deciding to pick it up and wave it around. Did you wash your hands after that? Because we didn't have. I don't think we had any hand sanitizer. In the
No.
car.
I ate chips too. Fucking corn nuts. Had
knows-
to get in there. A little ranch.
Who knows what kind of juices you got in there?
Hey man, you gotta live life. We're all gonna die.
Those were regular chips, and then they became flaming hot after you touched that dildo.
They became shrimp flavored. What?
That's how Lay's decides their new flavors.
Hey,
They grab a dildo and then rub it all over the chips and taste. This sounds like tastes like a little bit of Texas. This is little biscuits and gravy.
I love shrimp chips. Give me them shrimp chips. Hey, that rehab show was fun as fuck though. That was we were in Tahoe.
That was in Tahoe,
right?
yeah.
Tahoe. We went to a rehab center. We performed for these junkies. No, I mean, don't worry. I hope you're well.
I hope they are too. I do. It was. I mean, it's a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place, and if you're a drug addict, seek help and treatment and all that good jazz. And if you don't, you'll be all right. You just might die and go to jail and all that shit.
I was doing shows this weekend for the exact opposite of the rehab shows that we do sometimes.
Fucking tweakers on Monster.
I did. Basically, I was doing shows in Arkansas, in the middle of nowhere, at a VFW and an Elks Lodge.
Oh, Jay,
So
man,
it's-
just stay in town,
Dude,
bro.
it was. I had a great time.
It was good?
but it was like I did the VFW show was nutty because it was a 3-hour long show and there were 3 of us on the show,
An hour each?
an hour each, and
That's-
so
I'm sorry. Not because you're scared of doing an hour, but like that's when the comedian should be like, we should each do 30 to 40. Like that.
Well,
this is too long.
the guy who promoted the show when he booked it, he was like, so we usually do. So comedy shows are usually 90 minutes, and it's usually like an opener, and a feature, and a headliner. And then
Yes,
and
that's perfect. That's normal.
right.
Nobody's tired. Nobody's exhausted. Nobody wants to fucking shoot you in the face.
But the person who ran the venue told him, well, we usually have our performers do 4 hours of a block because they usually get bands. This is like their first comedy show they ever had. And so he was like, all right, I guess we'll do 3 hours. And so I'm sitting in the back and it's a big, huge space. It's probably like 250 seat a room.
Did you go first, second, or third?
I went third.
Oh,
So
shit.
I'm watching all of these like 50 to 70-year-old people just get fucking wrecked off of like Jello shots.
Oh yeah,
and
I know
Coronas,
the VFW all too well.
and by the time I got out, like the second guy in the 3 hour block was like, "Yo, Jay, you're probably want to cut to like 40 minutes." He's saying this from the stage,
Yeah.
because he lost the crowd because they were people who were just like taking Jello shots.
Did
and,
you
like,
shout
I'm
back
wrecked.
and be like, "How about you cut it to 40?"
Nah, I was
We
just
both
like,
cut it.
I was just laughing and in my head going like, I'm gonna get shot.
Yeah.
But I wound up doing like 45.
Dude,
I could just tell.
people are my kryptonite, bro. I'd be bombing in front of old people.
Oh, see, that's the thing about the people. These
Vomit.
people like to party, so they were down. They laughed.
Okay.
They were still laughing
They were
at
just
the
so
third hour
shit-faced.
in.
They were just kind of.
That's the thing. They were by the time that's why I cut it to 45 instead of doing an hour, because I was like, well, these guys are just fucking tired.
There's no point.
They've been here since 7, and they've been drinking since like 4 in the afternoon.
They've been drinking since their whole life. Let's be honest.
And none of them.
I know the VFW.
Yeah. Our DJ was named Dirtbag. He was great. Shout out to Dirtbag if you're listening.
If you need a DJ in Arkansas, a realtor mortgage thing in the South Bay, or Chokeout, I remember. I forget. Go to the people. Go to the fucking people I named earlier. Rewind. Hey, comedy show producers, don't have it be 3 hours, you assholes. It never works.
It worked out better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit. It was like, I was nervous going in, especially as I was just sitting there waiting even more for like my time to go. I was like, all right, please, I just want to do my time and then get going, and then it was fine.
It's such a frustrating thing to. I was gonna speak for both of us, but maybe not. But like at our level, it's hard to get an hour.
Yeah. Oh, for
it's
sure.
so hard to run an hour. Mm-hmm. And so when you do have those opportunities, you really, really want to just to flex that muscle. I've done it like fucking 5 times maybe.
Yeah. This weekend I did 2 45-minute sets and a 30-minute set, and those are all hard lengths to come by in LA.
Oh, they're nearly impossible in LA unless it's your own show.
Right.
And even then, you'll get too much shit from the community for
Right.
doing that.
I mean,
come on, it's too many friends here, you know?
I can regularly, at this point, like if I'm doing a show in LA, it's like, all right, you're probably going to be doing 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
That's nice.
It's so nice.
It only took 6 years to get 3 more minutes.
Right?
So.
Oh,
You
God.
leave me hanging.
And then, were you fist bumping?
Yeah, man.
I thought you were doing one of this. I thought you were doing a little hand gesture just for the people on camera.
Was my pinky out for that?
Wait,
Damn
let's
it.
do one of these.
Do that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
started a new trend. It's little dicks.
Little dicks. We're touching little dicks.
Little fucking dicks.
But that's, I mean, it's like the nice thing about those rehab shows, it's just like 20 minutes. And
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's a
20
chance
to 30
stretch.
minutes. You get to stretch. It's fantastic.
But otherwise, it's just like, you just have to sit in this self-loathing where you're
Yeah.
watching everybody at an open mic.
And I was just in my head thinking of the places we do get, or I get to run my hour. It's like not optimum circumstances.
But
it's a bar in Palm Desert. You know,
Yeah.
you're like, one day I'll get the improv.
I did half an hour at a birthday party in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
It was a private birthday party for it was
horrible, right?
it was better than I thought it was going to be. I
You're
was
too
definitely nervous
positive.
going
Give me
into
the
it.
bad
Well,
shit.
I went there.
I got kicked in the face.
It
No.
was a gay man's 50th birthday party / retirement party.
Also, that was lit. They're all fucking.
But that's the
having a good
thing.
time.
His husband was there, and his husband was an Asian of some descent. I never figured out what. But they had like the entire old Asian family there also, and then and there were children running around.
Yeah.
So I'm up there talking about like dick pics and fucking jerking off and
Do what you got to do.
and pedophiles, and then all of a sudden I'm
You could
just
have
like,
left that one off that
nah,
set, sir.
the pedophile joke is great. I can't leave that one out.
I mean, I hate censorship. But I'm gonna say, maybe if the children are present, we could save that for another set.
Here's the thing: I didn't know there was a kid there. They said there were going to be no kids.
Okay.
Because he
Well,
asked
then
me
that's
before,
their
and he's
fault.
like, "There might be some kids here, but do you want me to tell them to the parents to take the kids?" And I was like, "Yes, please. Just tell them to take them away for like half an hour." And then, like 20 minutes in, a little girl comes darting out of one of the rooms, and I'm just like, "Well, I've been just saying all this horrible shit this entire time.
Yeah.
You guys she's gonna be scarred for life.
Yeah, I did a quinceañera. Did I tell this one?
I don't think so.
Oh, it was one of the worst gigs.
How much time did you do at the quinceañera?
I probably barely lasted 10. I gave up. It was performing to 200 people, and 14 kids are paying attention, and the rest are like looking over their shoulder like, why is that guy talking into a microphone? I don't know him. And it was I was bombing, and a little girl was running on stage, and I was like, little girl, can you get off the stage? I'm trying to do stand up. And she started crying, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And that was the only laugh I got, was saying sorry into a microphone to a little
Wow.
girl running, crying off stage.
Oh my God.
And then I was told I was going to get paid, and then I didn't. But they gave me a bag of candy and a couple beers I was drinking at that time. It was-
There you go.
That was like
Nice
my
little boost.
third show. And
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fourth? I don't know. It was very, very, very early on. And I don't keep track of shit, and I kind of regret it because all comics like know their date. Yeah, I did this mic at this date. They
Yep.
take a picture, and I'm like, I
I-
don't know, fall,
I track all that shit
winter.
in my calendar.
It was raining. That's all I remember.
I'm very organized for that. But I got a lot of bad. Like I remember one of the worst gigs I ever did was early on in LA.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do 30 minutes at a steak restaurant that was somewhere in like Covina,
Yeah.
and I was
30
bombing.
minutes.
I was supposed to do 30, and this is before I had like a good 30. I probably had 15 tops, and I was doing it, and I was bombing like from the jump.
Yeah.
And the guy who was running the show lit me early. I got off stage at 20 minutes, and then I was like, oh, I was bombing that bad that he got me off early, and then he did like another 15 minutes to save the show because I was supposed to close the show.
That's so funny.
And then I was just like, I was also drinking at the time, and I went to the bar, and I was just like so sad, and like the bartender was just feeding me alcohol.
Yeah.
And I was like
Drink
talking
this,
to her,
young
and
man.
it was a cute lady bartendress. Bartendress, that's the technical term, right?
It's garçon.
And I'm talking to this wench at the bar. No, she was really nice, and then I was like, I thought she was hitting on me, and then as soon as she dropped the boyfriend, that she had a boyfriend,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
was like,
She just
there goes my
she
chances.
just truly
Glug.
felt bad for you, and
Yep.
she was being sweet.
and then I drove,
This
and then
poor-
I drove off.
She went like this. She gave you this poor little dick bastard.
Yep.
Call
Just-
back. Come on. Oh,
we got inside each other there. But yeah, that was a low point. But that was like, that's because I remember still having the confidence to drive drunk home after that, and I was like, I still got it.
I still got it. You're sober how long now?
3.5 years.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yep.
Congrats.
Thanks, man.
I'm sober 5.5 years.
That's wild.
It is wild.
It's so weird to think about the way things used to be, as far as like from there, because there's like I've gotten to a point now where it's like there's different parts of my life that kind of fall into ways like my drinking affected this in a different way than it affected this.
My drinking affected everything.
Mine affected everybody, but it was like different ways. Like,
yeah.
How do you feel? Because I forget. You started performing right before you got sober. Then, if you've been 5.5.
I was performing fucked up for like maybe a year, stand up, and then like 2 years improv. Yeah, I was the wild card.
So what changed after you quit? After you sobered up?
What a shocker! You know what? I made more sense. It was a little bit more clear and cohesive, and you're so worried. For me, anyways, I was drinking and smoking and drugging and all that shit for so long that I thought I had to be intoxicated to be funny. And then, guys, you're still funny when you're not intoxicated. You're better.
Right.
You're sharper.
That was
You remember. Yeah, and less cuss words, a little bit less anger. You know, and it just came out better. Of course, in the beginning, I was so thin-skinned and terrified. Just alcohol was, just helps with that, but it's a bad crutch. if you only learn how to perform drunk.
I didn't realize how much of a crutch it was until I got
Oh, it's a
sober, and then I was
crutch.
like, oh, I am actually aware of what's happening
Yeah.
on stage now.
Yeah.
Because before it's just kind of like you'll say the things, but there's like this wall of liquid that's in front of you, and you're just like hearing the laughs a little bit through that, and the rest of it doesn't really matter. And then when you're not, when you have no substances in the way, it's just like, oh, I feel every
I feel
moment.
everything. Oh, when you're not laughing, that hurts. I couldn't
Right.
tell before.
Though I will say, I did a show. Did you ever do that performing under the influence show?
I don't think so.
There's-
I did that on my own, but
Right.
not that's what it was called.
There was it was one of the last shows that I ever did before I got sober, and it was a show where you did 3 minutes totally sober
I never did that one.
and then 8 minutes fucked up on whatever you wanted. And I did that. I did my 3 minutes, and then I took a bunch of Molly and did my second.
Oh my
second
God.
set. And it was
I thought you were
Wild.
just gonna get high. Yeah,
nah.
that's
I was
wild.
like, everybody else was doing like just getting drunk or smoking pot. There was one lady on our show who did muscle relaxers.
I have always wanted to perform on mushrooms, and I missed my window. But maybe later in life.
Little Bill Hicks style.
Yeah, man.
Performing on Molly was nutty because I did too much.
Oh shit.
And my eyes started vibrating in my head while I was on stage. And then I also was like, it was a really tiny crowd because everybody else it was pretty much all comics at that show, and they were
Yeah.
all just shit faced because I was going up close to the end, and so they were all like, who knows what the fuck they were doing. And I had 3 friends of mine at the show, and they were sitting there, and I was like telling jokes, and then I did a joke that they didn't laugh at because they're my friends. They've heard this joke
Yeah.
probably dozens of times. And then I was like, you guys are supposed to be my friends. Why are you laughing at this
You're like,
joke?
love me. I'm on Molly.
Please.
All right, if you're not laughing, come rub lotion on my body.
And then I was, and then I got
Oil.
After that, I got in a pool and hung out in a pool for a little bit.
That's
And watched
fantastic.
music videos.
Dude, you're made. I forgot that you're good. You're making remember all the good stuff. So like this would have been my second or third time performing stand up, and I was on mushrooms, walking in Los Feliz, and I walk and stumble across Best Fish Taco.
Oh.
And I go to the producer. I knew him at that time. I haven't really talked to him since. This was like 6 years ago. And I go, hey, I'm on mushrooms. Let me perform on your show. And he goes, what? I was like, I'm on mushrooms. Let me get up there. And he was like, no. And I cannot believe the balls. First of all,
Wow.
I wouldn't even just ask a producer, hey, throw me up. If you know what I mean? That's weird.
That's a lot. That's
a
confidence.
lot.
That's a lot. Especially if it would have been like your second or third time
and
ever.
in the beginning, like baby, and I didn't even have 7, and I was asking for 10 on mushrooms, like and then what would I have done? I was on hallucinogens.
I don't know, man.
Jesus Christ.
That's
Thank God he said no.
Thank
I wish
God.
he would have said yes, though. I told him that story, and he was like, oh, my God, I remember that. Because that's just not something you forget. It's some guy frying balls. Yeah, let me get up there. I'll talk about the lizard people.
I want to tell everybody about all these UFOs I saw.
And then another story you helped make me remember. Did I talk about performing on hash oil edibles?
I think so.
Did I? Yeah, because my dear friends Keita and Madison's my hairstylist. I ate a hash oil edibles and drank, and then I gave her a little piece of the hash oil edible. It was insanely potent, and she's a stoner and she smokes.
Right.
Might have to bleep her name out now. I don't know if she wants to be a school teacher.
Well, you didn't say her last name.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Hair by Maddie. If you need your haircut, Madison Perrone.
Haircuts, DJs.
Yeah, all of it.
Lawyers? What was the other
Molly,
thing?
lawyers,
Molly?
Kevin Fard, lawyer, fart face.
Yeah.
And then, so I perform, and I actually have a decent set considering hash oil, edibles, and alcohol. But she's a stoner, and she takes a Uber to Venice, and she, gets dizzy and throws up. And this is coming from a girl that smokes weed every day. And I'm just saying, I was performing on hash oil edibles. Like, what are you doing, man? Just
I mean, that's some people just can't. Some people you don't realize how strong it is, and then it hits them.
Yeah, I just was dabbing and waxing and eating, and that was the old stoner Trader Joe's days. I would hit dabs and go to work, then smoke on my tan, eat some hash oil edibles. I used to get this rum cake that was real good, real potent, and just work. And then what?
It was wild, man.
I can't even function.
I used to do that. when I was working at the store. I actually got in big trouble. It was the closest I ever got to getting fired from working
That's
the
a
door.
hard place to get fired from. He used to work at the comedy store
Yep.
for many years. What, 4 years?
Almost 5 years.
5
Yeah, it
years.
would have been 5 this month actually. But I quit back in February to do some bigger and better
Yeah, he
things.
moved on to greener pastures, to Greg's
nice.
couch.
But this was maybe like 6 or 7 months in. It was really early on, and I was working a room, and a comic came up to me and was like, "Let's go smoke weed." And I was like, "That sounds great. I know the perfect place." So we went in the main room, behind the ticket booth where they got that hallway.
Yeah.
But on the way to the green room, I went back there, and I locked both the doors, and we started we were smoking.
Why wouldn't you just go outside?
Because I was a fucking idiot, dude. I was probably already drunk.
Box of weed.
I was like, why not? This sounds great. And then somebody came and knocked on they tried to open the door, and the door was locked. And I was like, oh, fuck. So then I went out the other door, and it was the manager. It was the GM, Eric, who saw me.
Oh no, he's the
And-
one guy you don't want.
Right. And so I was like, shit. And then I remember I went back to my shift. I was working in the original room. I was seeing the OR. And it was the very end of the night, and I was like cleaning everything up. And he comes in, and I'm at the bottom of the stairs to the OR. So he's at the top of the stairs. So he's already above me as it is. And he's like, "Hey, if you ever smoke weed in the building again, you're fired instantly." And I was like,
Good man. Gets a good manager. He laid
Yeah.
it down.
Yep.
He said, "Don't fuck up again."
Right.
You're fired.
And
but
then-
he let you slide. That's a good
He
goddamn
let
manager.
me slide, and then and then the next week I was like, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I'll never do that again." And I didn't.
Yeah.
But I was still like smoking on the clock and drinking on the clock for a while after that.
I didn't. I would just do Molly instead.
I don't think I ever did Molly at the Comedy Store. I did one of the last times I ever drank. It was at my birthday. Oh my God, I don't know if I've ever told you this story before. I was going through a really bad breakup over the summer before I got sober, and there was a girl. This is like a year-long breakup, by the way.
Those happen.
This happened. And this girl who we'd been dating, she and I had a birthday that were like 3 days apart from each other. And she had hit me up, and she was like, "Hey, how about we do a joint birthday party this year?" And I was like, "Absolutely not."
You guys are broken up.
We were broken up.
That's the worst idea ever.
Dude, she was still trying to like be an active part. It was really weird. I was not on board, and she was just like really trying to make it work because she was friends with her exes that she had also dated, and I've never been friends with my exes. It's just not how I operate.
I can later. I've learned I couldn't before in the beginning, but now I can. It just takes 6 months to a year.
Yeah. I can be cordial with my exes, but I can't ever be like, I've never been to a point where I'm like, I want to hang out and be friends with my exes. But so this girl, so she goes, and I was like, she was like, "Let's have a joint birthday party." And I was like, "Nah, I'm good." And I went to, have you ever been to Booty LA?
Booty LA.
Yeah.
I feel like I should own the place, but
Booty
I had
is
never been
great.
in my life.
Oh, it's a mashup dance party. It happens every week. And it's
Booty LA?
usually in Silver Lake, but they were doing this one downtown at the Regent.
Okay.
And I was like, got all my friends, and I was like, we're gonna go to Booty. Let's have a good time. There was a girl I was dating at the time, and I was like, we're gonna do Molly together. And she was like, great.
Fantastic.
And then I took my half of the Molly and like was drinking and having a good time. And then all of a sudden my ex shows up
Oh no.
because somehow she had found out where the party was going to be because it was like a bunch of college friends. We went to college together.
And she brought the whole posse, her whole posse?
No, she did not bring any posse. What she did was take pictures with everybody And meanwhile, I'm like blacking out because I'm like, I can't handle her being here.
Yeah.
So I didn't even feel the drugs. I was just blacked out, and I don't remember what happened. The next thing I remember is like being like leaving the Regent, and like I don't know where any of my friends are. And I was like, I feel like I forgot people inside, and they're like, no, all your friends left. And the next day, she was posting on Instagram pictures of her and all of my friends saying, thanks everybody for coming to my birthday party.
That's a lunatic.
Yep.
That's a goddamn lunatic.
It was crazy, man.
I like her.
And I didn't go home. I didn't go home with the girl that I liked either. It was a rough night.
Yeah, that happens when you black out.
Yeah. So it goes.
I had some stuff I wanted to ask you. I wrote it down. This is
Ooh.
my dildo on the side of the road. Oh, roast battle.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that. You were heavily deep in that shit. You still are, right?
I actually just quit.
You just quit?
I just quit. I'm still going to be involved with the show sort of at a distance. Like I'm going to, I'll probably still battle, and I'm still going to write for the blog every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I just quit producing the show and booking the show a week ago.
Yeah, he was doing it all, performing on it, producing it, writing on it. Mm-hmm. What else? Winning it.
I was filming it.
I
was doing all, running it live.
He was heavy.
It was there almost 6 years.
Yeah, roast battle, Brian Moses, baby.
Great show. I love the show, and that's the thing. I didn't leave because I like nothing changed with the show. It all just changed. Like I can't be involved anymore.
6 years is a good run, man. That's fantastic. Yeah.
It was fucking gnarly though, man.
And
it was a lot. It's that show's a beast.
Oh yeah. I've never done it. I've never done roast battle once.
Never? That's right. I guess you never have.
I was always scared of it. I don't want to be mean to somebody.
It's a scary show.
And I don't want somebody to be mean to me.
It definitely.
I'm sensitive.
It changed the way I approached comedy doing that show. Well, because it was like, because the whole premise of the show theoretically is like we're gonna get as dark as we can, right? And you're gonna be mean and you're gonna attack the deep shit, and then you get in there, and I remember I'm like making jokes about people's dead brothers and like I remember we did the first season of it for Comedy Central, and I was battling Ashley Barnhill, who her dad has Alzheimer's, and I did jokes about her dad having Alzheimer's.
And it killed, right?
It killed.
Of course it did.
And
That's
then
how brutal this fucking show is.
But then as soon as the lights came on, I saw her dad. Oh no, her dad with Alzheimer's sitting there in the crowd in his wheelchair, like infirm, and I was like,
man. That's the theme of the show, Daddy-O.
But then in my head, I was like, at least he's not gonna remember this show
It's
later.
true.
Thank God.
It's true. Did you write that for on stage too?
No, that was one of my favorite jokes. Was Ashley? It's Ashley's dad suffers from Alzheimer's, which is so terrible that he has to tell you that he's disappointed in you every single day.
Yeah. Damn, that's a good one. Digs deep. Yeah, I don't know. No.
It's tough, man. But that's the thing. It's like because I always had sort of like that dark, weird sense of humor anyway that roast battle really brings out of people. And I didn't know how to write jokes like that before that were actually good and not just shocking.
Yeah.
Because that was the problem. It's like when you're first starting out, I'm sure you probably dealt with this to some extent, is like you write jokes, but they're not really jokes. It's just you saying stuff that gets a reaction from the crowd.
Yeah, you don't know what to talk about, so you just talk about crazy shit because you want some sort of response.
Right.
A lot of newer comics, including myself.
Oh yeah, and me too.
9 out of 10 are guilty of that, just because it's just a thing you have to go through. It's really weird.
It's an easy way to get a reaction is to talk about some shocking shit. And so then working on that show and doing that show helped me figure out how to actually write those kinds of jokes with finesse, because you have to be able to write a good joke in that vein for your set on roast battle to succeed and for you to not look dumb on the show.
Yeah.
So doing that show helped me figure out how to actually do that kind of material. And now I feel confident doing material that addresses stuff that you could look at and be like, if I was looking back on myself now, when I was first starting out, I'd be like, man, I don't know how he's saying all that stuff and getting away with it. But then I look back on tape of me. I have a tape of me from like the second or third time I was ever on stage at a pizza place in Grapevine, Texas. Shout out to Zooroma, which I don't think exists anymore.
If you want to go to a business that doesn't exist anymore, go to Zooromas.
Yeah, but I did that. I've watched that set, and it's just like garbage. Because it's just like me say like the lowest common denominator of like, oh, I'm gonna talk about dicks and get a big laugh.
Farts. What about those losers? I
But-
talk about farts.
But that's the thing. I didn't know how to have the finesse and the skill, and Roast Battle really taught me how to have the finesse and the skill to do jokes like that.
I feel like it helps so many comics out. I mean, it help you out, and you're working in Hollywood, writing and doing shows and shit.
Yeah.
Frank Castillo, he won it, and he's working. He's opening. Got him on Rogan. He
Frank's
opened for Rogan.
Frank's opening for Chappelle right now.
Yeah, and
he's
in
in San Francisco. Yeah.
Frank Castillo's opening for Dave Chappelle yesterday, right?
And he asked him to come back today, so he's there again right
double
now.
dipping.
Yeah.
Double shout out to Frank Castillo. Go check him out in San Francisco.
I mean,
this'll be too late, so you missed it. You missed it.
well, a lot of us from Roast Battle were working on Historical Roast, which is coming out on Netflix.
Is
and
it?
that's like and that was half the way that writer's room worked out was it was half people who'd been working with Jeff for a really long time on the Comedy Central roast and whatever. And then the other half, Jeffrey Ross, the Roast Master General. And the other half was people from Roast Battle. So it was like me and Nicole Buchanan and Connor McSpadden and Keith Carey and Robin Tran and Alex Young and all of these other Roast Battle people. So we were just like, this is our, like, for a lot of us, it was people's first or second writing job. But
it's perfect.
It's Roast Battle.
It's so perfect. Yeah. So it's just in their blood.
Yeah. So
Given job opportunities. So God bless fucking Brian Moses and Jeff Ross.
I owe so much
for giving young up and coming comics jobs and money.
I'll always be
that
grateful
they
to those
fucking
guys.
need.
Yeah.
There's a little anger coming out there. What's that?
I don't know.
Also, too, this is the first time I think we're being topical. Are you ready? Ooh, dee 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 doo 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 doo.
Is this your topical theme song?
I was trying to do Game of Thrones theme.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch it?
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Oh shit! The one guy I didn't plan this out. Well, maybe me and
I
producer
look
man
like
are
I
talking
like Game
about.
of Thrones, though.
I actually got into it because Bobby Lee shamed me into it. He cornered me at the Comedy Store, and he bullied me into watching Game of Thrones. And he also bought me a $72 steak so he could do whatever he wants to me. But yeah, he's like, you literally aren't watching one of the. This is before the last season, and he's like, you're not watching one of the best shows ever created. It's epic. It's good acting. Every episode's like a movie. I was like, all right, I'll fucking watch it. And I watched all of it and caught up because I was extremely late to the party. I was 7 years late to the party or whatever. And then I watched it. It was really fucking good. And then the last season, I'm sure if you're alive and on Twitter,
I've seen
that
people
people
reacting to the last season like they got their baby shot in front of them.
I mean, that's they are acting that way. That I enjoyed it up until the last episode. I know it wasn't what the first seasons were, but it was entertaining. But then the last episode was just like, I don't know how else to describe it. It just was like, that's how you end it. That's how. I'm not a writer, and I know I'm criticizing. And I hate fucking critics, but like, it's just something else, guys.
What is the thing that you didn't like about it? Because you can talk spoilers. I don't give a shit about.
Oh, you don't
spoilers.
give a shit? Okay, so it literally just summed up everything in the most anticlimactic, uneventful way. Like, oh, he's king. He goes over there. She goes over there. See you later. Like, that was it. And I guess they needed a button at the end to wrap it up and have everything come full circle. But if it's that fucking lackluster, just tag it on the previous episode and do a quick montage, because it's better than having an hour minutes of 20 minutes of something that could have been 20 minutes.
Gotcha.
And it was just like, you literally have all this epic shit. That show, the reason it was so good for me, because it just goes like this. It just constantly raises the stakes and escalates and keeps going. And then it literally goes like at the very end. At the very, very end. And it's like, The reason Stairway to Heaven is one of the best rock and roll songs of all time, even though I like many other Zeppelin songs more, but it's one of the most popular because it just keeps going up. You know, it starts off slow and just goes shoop.
Yeah.
And this show went
Well, that's what I loved about that. People said that about Lost too, which I remember because I watched Lost. That was one of the first TV shows that I ever watched that was like an adult television
I
show.
heard it's amazing. I haven't seen it.
It's really good, but there's this. They kept running it. The show ran probably about a season too long because it did the thing. It was going up for a couple of years, and then the third season it had a dip, and people freaked out about it. And then it came back, and it was doing great again. And then everybody freaked out about the finale because people had the same sort of reaction that they did to the Game of Thrones finale. Where like, well, this is just weird. It's
that
wrapping
didn't
everything up
satisfy
like
my
this.
fucking appetite
That's
that
the
I've been
thing.
eating for 8 years.
But I was just like, I don't care. This is a fun end. I like the way this ends.
I don't regret it, and it was an amazing show. And actually, Smarty Pants over here, come on, this is your moment to shine. Tell us all this shit. He walked up when I was watering my garden. I love plants, and he told me smart reasons why Game of Thrones fell off, and I was like, my brain couldn't compute that, but I agree.
Well, I read a Scientific American article, which is a weird place to read, like an article about Game of Thrones.
Yes, you know, we're the foremost authorities on dragons and magic here at Scientific American.
It was interesting because it laid out the
Where to read about your
differences.
porn? Nickelodeon magazine. Okay,
pretty good.
I'm done. Talk. Go ahead.
It just laid out the difference between the later seasons and the earlier seasons, how George R.R. Martin wrote using like the world as kind of a force that shapes people, and how the later seasons are all about the inner workings of the minds of the characters dictating what they do. I'd say read the article because I read it once and I can't regurgitate it. It was like really dense, but it made a lot of sense.
I remember talking. I was actually talking last night with my girlfriend about this, who's a writer herself, and she said that for a show with so many female characters, especially really strong and notable ones like Cersei and Dany and you know the other ones who I don't know,
Yeah.
but there for the past 5 seasons there were no female writers in the writers' room. And I think that maybe, especially for this last season, where those top tier female characters, the ones whose stories are really being wrapped up in a certain way, that if they had had a female writer in there to be like, hey, let's figure out how to really make these characters shine and not make their stories feel so. I mean, because those are the things that people seem to bump on the most. Is like Dany didn't seem like she was doing what her was consistent with the character or whatever. I guess I don't really know.
I don't know.
There was one girl goes through sexual assault throughout the show, and at the end, the guy's like, sorry that happened to you. And she's like, oh, that's what made me who I am. And everybody hated it because it's just such a weird, like, it's clearly guys wrote that, and they're like, she's better for it. And it just didn't land at all.
Yikes.
Wowzers. Yeah.
Brought it all down.
Yeah. Let's talk about. This is why we shouldn't talk about Game of Thrones. It's a garbage show. I've never watched it, and now I'm probably still not going to watch it. I'll
No.
stick to Breaking Bad. That's my shit.
Oh, best show.
I love Breaking Bad.
Best show. Hot damn. Now that's an ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiddlywinks. Hot damn tiddlywinks.
Oh my God.
I've seen it twice, and I could go another round. That show is so good.
Did you watch Better Call Saul?
Yes, but I need it to be on Netflix already because I'm not caught up. But I
Yeah.
watch whatever is on Netflix.
I'm not caught up either. I missed out on a lot of stuff. I did just binge Dead to Me, which is a fun. That's got Lynn Cardellini and Christina Applegate.
Oh, I hear good things.
It is. This is a good one.
Who's watching that?
James Marsden plays a total douchebag, which is great. He never does that. It was a fun time.
We hit an hour. That's pretty good. That was quick. So we definitely got to tell a good old shitting of the pants story. You ever shit your pants?
Oh
on
yeah,
on your wedding night or something?
Not
real
on
bad?
not on my wedding night. I'm not there yet.
On your
but
baby's christening. On
I
your
shit my
baby's
pants.
Brisk.
at the brisk.
At the brisk.
I had I was in a frat in college. I think you probably know this fact about me.
Maybe I forget a lot of stuff.
So I went to a lot of frat parties, as you do, and one time I'd been cooking earlier that day. I made Zataran's jambalaya out of a box, and Tell you what.
That sounds like a bowl of diarrhea. Starting out.
It is. Zataran is
That
Creole
sounds
for you're gonna shit your pants later on.
Zataran's box jambalaya.
I had to Zataran to the bathroom because I thought I had a fart, and it wasn't a fart. And I felt a plop in my pants.
Oh yeah.
In my shorts.
Oh, that's the worst.
And
Pants, at least, you can hide it a little better.
But the shorts, and it was khaki shorts because it's a frat party, so it's like, who knows what's going to happen. So
Fucking
I
white
literally,
people in their khakis.
I felt it, and it was like a cannon, and I was like, oh, I gotta take care of this. Something has gone wrong.
Was it a log or a squirt?
It was a squirt. It was
Oh,
a
yeah,
splatter.
that's
It was
the
a little
best.
Jackson Pollock.
Yeah.
A little Jackson poop log.
Yeah,
you know?
man. Who wants a painting? Come get my undies.
And I ran into the bathroom. We had all these houses with these fucking ridiculous names, but this one was Bellagio. This is our top tier house. This is the premier. We had a local band there one time called Troop 41. They were rappers. We got a noise complaint.
You're making me.
We had a bunch of white people
thankful.
yelling "fuck the police" at the cops.
Yeah, you're making me thankful I didn't go to college. It
would have been a time,
I
man.
would have gotten
We go to
kicked out of the frat.
So we're in Bellagio, and I should have been kicked out of the frat, by the way, previously. Like after this, one time we had a Mardi Gras party, and I was like, let's make a purple drink bucket like they have in New Orleans, like Lil Wayne does, and we made a bucket with vodka and Robitussin.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
Why?
yeah. Cause it's purple drink, baby. And I got in trouble, and that was the thing. I was telling people, I was like, this is only going to be for specific. If you ask for this, you can have this, but otherwise, you're not going to have it.
See, that's where me and you are different. I used
Right.
to just pour promethazine in the jungle juice and not tell anybody. I'd be like, why do I feel so good?
But people
you
were,
hallucinating, bitch.
people were
You
going
hallucinating.
crazy at this party. And then we had our chapter meeting the next Sunday, and the president of the frat was like, "All right, I heard somebody made a Robitussin bucket at a party. If anybody does not own up to this, we will shut the chapter down and do an intensive search to figure out who did it and kick them out. So come forward." And
It's over the counter, college.
I came forward and I went to the guy and I was like, "Hey, that was me. Sorry." And he was like, "What? You did that? What?"
Yeah.
Because they still looked like this.
Yeah.
And so nobody assumed anything from me. And they were like, "Oh, that's fine. Just don't do that again." I didn't even get sent to standards or anything.
And that's white power.
Yep. But anyway, I go shit my pants and I run into the bathroom. I cut this giant line so people are freaking out at me already. And I'm inspecting. I'm completely bottomless in this bathroom. And there's no lock on the door. So I'm like holding the door shut with my foot.
Isn't it the worst shitting with no lock on the door? It is fucking crippling anxiety.
It's bad. And so I was like checking and I was like, yeah, this is bad. And I'm like doing ballet moves to keep the door closed. And I take the underwear and I threw them under the sink. And then I put my shorts back on. And then I left the party. And it was like 11:30 and I didn't come back. And I don't know what the fuck happened after that.
Just
honestly.
hosed it off at a stranger's house. That's fantastic. Yeah, I remember shitting with in Little League. You know when you're a little kid and shitting is you're mortified of shitting in public, mainly amongst your friends.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And so it was the goddamn Little League didn't have doors.
On the bathrooms?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's so weird. And it had it was low and it had no doors. And I was like, okay, well, nobody ever shits in there. But of course, I was going to shit my pants. And I didn't want to do that. And I had to say, Coach, I got to go to the bathroom, real quick. And then my coach walks in the bathroom to take a piss. And I'm shitting. And then he just locks eyes with me. And he's like, "Don't you hate it when there's no doors on the bathroom stalls?" And he's like, "It's fucking weird, huh?" And I go, "Yeah." And then he pisses, I shit, and we both go out and play a good game. But I just remember going, "Oh man." I'm glad he said something though, because we were both thinking it.
Right. You can't just lock eyes with somebody.
Oh,
while they're taking
shit.
it. I used to work at the summer camp I used to work at. We had latrines instead of real bathrooms, and so when you took a shit, there were no walls. So you call them a buddy dump, and you'd go and
Yeah,
just shit next to each other.
Come on, military.
A little
Can
camaraderie.
you just put a little You know,
It was a good
we're
time.
already going to be in the bush together. Do we need to
But I remember the first
shit on each other?
my first summer at camp, I felt really uncomfortable because I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
And I was taking a shit, and then one of the counselors came in and took a shit next to me, and we had a moment, and he chatted with me, and I was like, oh, I feel accepted as a part of this camp now. And that guy's name was also Jay.
Jay,
Shout out to Jay Lester.
for shitting next to a friend.
Thank you.
You got a friend.
I didn't
in
have
me.
a friend until he shat next to me, and then I
You
had a
got
friend.
a shat in me. Ooh, baby. Doo. Oh, man. There's this one customer at Trader Joe's. His name's Bill. He's an old dog. And he wears those binocular bifocals. I tag him in my story and make fun of him. He's kind of a creep. He'll grab your booty when you're not looking. Just kidding. We might have to edit that part out. He listens to this. Anyways, leave it in. What was the point of this? He told me to stop talking about poop. And I said, fucking mind your business, old man. We talking about shit up in here.
Poop is the great unifier because everybody does it.
Yeah, everybody does it.
Yeah.
Even in North Korea, they'd be shitting their pants.
Yeah.
They just do it like this. That was racist. I don't know why I did that. And a missile comes out. And a North Korean missile goes beep, beep. Getting silly today. I had a lot of coffee. Anything else you want to talk about, young man?
I think that's about it. Can I? Do we do the
plug.
plugs?
We plugs it.
We plug.
I did his podcast. Check that shit out.
Yep, Blockbusting. It's a podcast about people talking about movies they hate and why they hate them. You can get it wherever you get podcasts. And Craig's episode's great. I forget what movie you talked about? It was Pacific Rim Uprising.
This is number 2. First one's fantastic. Number 2,
Second one's trash.
God.
But yeah, check that out wherever you get podcasts or on my YouTube channel. And follow me at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram. I got show dates on jlightcomedy.com if you're in LA.
This comes out tomorrow, so
Great.
you could plug away.
I'll be in LA. I'll be actually
Look 'em up.
tomorrow. If you're in Chicago, I'll be doing a show. It's tonight. It's Wednesday night.
You get around, young man. Jesus.
At the Laugh Factory at 8:00.
Dude, that club, I've done it once, and it was fire. Oh, my God.
I hear great things, and it's a great show. We got Janelle James on there and Dan Perlman. Some other really great comics who I'm forgetting right now.
Chi-Town, go check them out. And I'll start touring one of these goddamn days. Damn it.
You go out there. Oh, and then watch Historical Roast, which comes out on Netflix May 27th. I helped write on that with a bunch of other really great comics, and it's a great show. And we had the premiere last night. We watched the first 2 episodes. It's really, really great. You guys are gonna dig it.
Check them out. Jay Light, I'll tag them in all the stuff. Check me out on my podcast that you're listening to right now. And
if you-
the YouTubes. Hey, guys.
If you like it, tell people about it. Just tell a friend.
Yeah, I forgot to say that every episode ever, so thank you. He's right.
You're welcome.
Hey, hide your
Hide your kids.
hide your kids, hide your wife. I
and
was
then
gonna-
watch this podcast in
and
the
watch
dark.
this podcast. Now, YouTube, like and subscribe. You guys are awesome. You've been lovely, and you've been mailing me gifts for my birthday.
What?
So thank you. I got yerba mates and the little holster, poopery spray, booty wipes, a little shit art, a fanny
about
pack,
poop a lot.
stamps. They send me Elvis stamps. You guys are so sweet. I love you all. I'm gonna get more professional here and start touring to one of your cities. And if I don't, blame Hollywood. Blame Hollywood. And I love you all. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Go wipe your booties. Bye-bye.